Well, here we go. We're live. You guys asked for an update, which is which is fine. I don't mind doing it. I did get all my substrate on the airplane. I'm out of paint. Got maybe a 1/4 inch left in there for a little brush touch-ups if necessary. I'm done painting. At least I'm done painting the substrate. So now what I'm going to do is I've got 400 sandpaper. I have to sand the whole airplane. Make sure that it's, all smooth. Yeah, I had it pretty smooth before I shot the last clear, but there are a couple spots if you listen here. Like right there. There's a couple spots underneath that need attention. Right here. You hear it? So we'll sand this. I'm going to sand the whole airplane with 400. Then I was talking to John, I was thinking about priming these fillets here because there's not much paint that goes on this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an airbrush and I'm going to airbrush these fillets white and then paint. Otherwise, you'll be able to see the difference in the color because they're not quite white enough. Now, if I was going to paint it blue, it wouldn't much matter, but I'm going to paint it orange. Same color scheme, or same trim scheme, but orange. So you got to think of these things ahead of time. See, right there, I got that knocked off pretty good. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm sure that when I do the first coat we'll probably be in paint tomorrow. I'll put it on the paint stand and get the white on it, and we'll come back and I'll start trimming, depending on how the first coat of white goes on. What happens is I've sanded this thing many times already, but what happens is you'll spray the paint on and you go, ah, God. It's you can see that it's picking up a shine. It's definitely picking up a shine. So it's ready for color. I have to sand in between all these ribs. Sand all the ribs, everything. This paint here is only, I don't know, 2 hours old. So it's really not ready to sand yet, the open base. Well, it's not falling up, so maybe so. Lots of thinner in this. I don't know how many hours it'll take to do this, but I'm not going to make you stick through all the sanding of this thing. I just thought I'd give a 7 o'clock update. Charles will be on in a little bit, so that'll be the Labor Day program. But I'll give you an hour of sanding and discussing the VIPER, but it did come along pretty quick. Like I said, beam wings are not that hard. They're not that hard to finish. You just got to know how. I'm trust me, when I'm done with this, it'll be a showstopper. People don't believe you can do a finish that good that quick. Well, I built the whole airplane in 11 days in one Spirit of 62 with it. A little smaller airplane, and more hours, about 20 hours a day instead of 10 hours a day. I can't tell you how important it is to paint those ribs. It is so important to paint those ribs. I'd already been sanded through these ribs already. Picked up about a half an ounce in the coat of paint. Let's see, we were at 27.9. It's at 28.2 or 28.3 now, so not a lot. I'm hoping I can get it. It'd be nice to finish it at 30 ounces. I'm serious, but I doubt it. It's probably going to be 31, 32. Another thing you'll be able to hear is when I take. You hear that? Listen to that, how rough that is. I really shot a lot of paint on the edges because I always miss the edges. So now it's just about sanding. How much sanding can you stand? One guy came on here and said, every time I come on here, you got sandpaper in your hand. That's exactly right. This is 400. I'll probably go over it with 600 when I get it sanded out, the whole airplane. Because we want an extra special job. I hope I can find that. When did I do it? Right there. Not quite ready to sand with 600, but now there's one wing sanded out. What do I? When? Oh, I don't know. End of the month, anyway. As soon as I can get her together. Now listen. You hear it? There's no. It's not sandpaper. That's my fingers. You hear that? Now that's my fingers. Even got to do that when I spray it white. Same with this. Let's see if we can hear it. Yeah, you can hear it. Because like I said, I really did shoot the edges good. Get quite a bit of paint on the edges. Because I don't want any pull-ups or anything on the flaps. I've more or less paid more attention to the finish on this than I have any model that I've done in the last 6 years. Even though it's come along fast. But if you make all the fits perfect, you ain't got a whole lot of sanding to do. I mean, perfect is good. Or at least as close as you can get. I'll get this up here to the camera and you can see and tell me if you think it's sanded good enough. I don't know if we're going to be able to get a super close up of this, but we'll try. You can hear it now. Smooth as a baby bottom. That looks good. That'll be good. See a spot right there. Guy asked me, what am I using for primer? Just tinted white, tinted clear, tinted white. I don't use primer. Well, it's not shiny yet, but it will be. But it will be. When you see this finished, it'll be shiny. As most of the people who are my channel members know, I can't deal with not a shiny airplane. But we're not using urethane. I only use dope. I'd like to get it down to the weight that it was before I started clearance, down to 27.9, because I think it's 28.3 or whatever. And then when I put the color on it, I'd like to keep it right here. I mean, it'd be nice, but you know that it's going to go up somewhat, as little as possible. Probably tomorrow it'll be down where it belongs. Let me get the camera in hand and show you what I'm talking about. Making these ribs. Oh yeah, she'll shine. What makes a beam wing look good is when you can get these ribs, every one of these ribs, to touch the leading edge perfectly, like that. Same with the trailing edge. Make sure all these are flat. I got one low rib on the bottom, but it's only out by maybe a 64th. I'm not going to worry about it. If I was going to shoot for a 20 pointer, I'd cut the covering off and put a new rib in it, but I'm not going to. It's on the bottom. Nobody will ever see it. unless I point it out to them. So it's just not worth it. And keep it as light as possible. That's what this is built for. I built it for the weight. Trying to hit those old weights. I'm now glad that I didn't bother with medium silk span. I'm glad I used light, because we'd be up there another ounce anyway. Let's see what it says here. I run into a lot of that with cap strips on RC stuff. It makes a pretty wing if you can get them all flush. Absolutely. And if you followed the last videos, I went over every one of these ribs 6 times and painted the ribs separately 6 times with a brush. So there's extra clear on these ribs so I can sand them off and make them smooth. Otherwise you can see the grain in them. And they don't mate right. There's a lot of detail to doing a beam wing, but it's not difficult. I mean, nothing I do is difficult. Just a matter of knowing, having a steady hand, and it's just practice, you know. People ask me, how do you build so fast? Well, shit, it's not fast. You got to stand there and do it. You can't come out to the shop and spend an hour looking at the workbench to figure out, well, why didn't I get anything done? Pick up the wood and start doing it. If it's wrong, well, it's better than nothing. If it's wrong, we can fix it. I'm gonna have to cut some 1-inch pads. You know what makes a beam wing hard to finish is that this must be done now every coat. From every coat on out, now I have to sand it just like this every single time. Next coat of white, next coat of orange, next coat whatever I put on it. Any of the clear, all got to be done like this. Take this off. Now listen, you can hear again. Boy, it's really rough. Rough as a cob right there. So I'm not really gonna. I would have liked to have been sub 50, 48, 49 ounces. It's just not possible with an airplane this big with the wood we have today. But if I come out low 50s, that'll be a feat. It'd be just like taking your 70-ounce airplane and cutting 20 ounces off of it, taking the motor out and flying it. I'm online, yes. It's my 7 o'clock program. It's my update for the final update for the day, except for I'm going to go on Charles's Hangout, talk to them. Now, if you listen, you can hear it again. That's just my fingers. Man, that's rough as a cod. It'll be fine. Kind of got me excited about building these old style airplanes. Just hope it flies good again, as good as I remember. I should have been building these when I came back. You got to think about it. I haven't built one of these since before I started stun hanger. Shit, before I got on Stuka Stunt. I didn't know squat about computers when I was building these. That's probably a good thing. Well, what is going to be the next project? I guess get Steve over here. Yeah, that's what I'll do. When this airplane's done, I'm going to clean up that bench, which I started. Get his little work area situated, get him some tools in those drawers, and get the wood laid out for him, get the plans in there and the wings and all that stuff. I got to get the trailer unloaded and ready to go because we're going to take the trailer to Tulsa. Oh. But it sands out relatively fast, you know, nothing big deal. I don't know what that was, but we won't worry about it. Get that right there. Get a new piece of paper. Kind of wore out that piece. Like, subscribe, and share. Super chat if you can. We got to get the numbers up because I'm really falling behind. First of the month or whatever. We did go up on channel members. If you'd like, please become a channel member. It only costs you $4.95 a month. Less than a cup of coffee a day. Shit, you can't even wail. You get $4.95 will get you a cup of coffee. And where can you get entertainment like this? Where can you learn something? This is its 22nd day today. We're already under base anyway. I need to sand that and that. So I'm going to come in here with an airbrush. Shit, I remember when it was a quarter, or shit, 15 cents. I'm going to come in here with an airbrush and just dust this with white so I don't have to put a ton of paint on it to cover it. $0.75. Yeah, I remember when it was not. I don't think it was a dime, but it might have been in the 60s. Let's see. Let me ask Goggle. First contest was 1969. Google, how much was price of a cup of coffee in 1969?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you please say that again?
What was the price of a cup of coffee in 1969?
Here's what I found.
There we go. Now, when I was born, it was 22 cents. Let's see. '69. It was in 1969. It was 42 cents. What year were you born? I'll tell you how much a cup of coffee was. 44 cents or 42 cents in 1969 when I went to my first contest. It was 20 some cents when I was born. Google knows everything. Well, by the time I'm done sanding here, it'll look like a piece of plastic. Then we'll shoot the color on it and the clear, and it'll really look like plastic. So the whole endeavor of building airplanes like this is to get this final result to where it looks like it's molded out of one piece of plastic. And the only way you can get it is right there, sandpaper. And I tell you what, when you set your airplane down on the tarmac at the Nationals and it's beautiful, glistening in the sun, there's nothing better. I wish we'd do our appearance judging at the old 180 building. That fiasco they had this year, what a joke. That's what you keep telling me, Yogi. 33 minutes. That's what you keep telling me. You really can't appreciate him until you see him in person, though. There we go. There it is. I have to go around and cut all that crap. Now, if you're going to hand sand, you see those three fingers right there? Don't hand sand this way. Hand sand that way. That way you won't sand any grooves in the plane. Should be using a block, but what did I do with it? There it is. I got these soft foam blocks that I should be using. Come out better. Well, show up at the Nationals next year and you'll be able to see them. So I got a block. You can hear that. It's a little rough. Yep, don't fuck up. Yes, this should be a good one. Should be a good one. We're going to try to do a Monado paint job on this baby. I was looking through some old stunt news and I see that, I can't remember the exact dates. I see that Tom Warden died in 1997 at 56 years old. And I guess the last time I would have talked to him was 1996. I asked him to send me some drawings of wheel pants, and he sent me his typical bananas. So, doing a little calculation, Bill Noyes would be around 80, 85, I think. Because I think Bill was a little older than Tom. I don't know if Bill watches me here. I know he can't hear. He was a good builder. He's about as good as Joe Reinhardt. Joe Reinhardt is nobody to shake a stick at. So there's not going to be no more brushing now. It's all spray. And I don't believe I'm going to show you spraying. It's just too congested in there for cameras and shit. So I'll spray and show you the end results. That, and I don't want to hear that crap. Where's the mask? Use a fan. Don't worry about me. Worry about yourself. I do a lot of shit you're not supposed to do. That's the way it goes. Let me get that tail wheel on here. Get that thing keep from tearing me up. So we got 20 minutes left on this stream. I think I can get quite a bit done in 20 minutes. I can get the first 400 sand out done. Now on my controls, there's no ball links anywhere. I'm ditching all the ball links from about 2 years ago. I've explained it several times why. If you're going to do bush horns like I did on this, you got to be real careful and get them exactly aligned so that they're super free. We have a little bugaboo right here. I'm going to have to put some acryl on. We can't have that. We'll get acryl on it. It's almost like I sanded a 1/8 inch low in it or something, 16th inch low. You know what I was thinking? What was I thinking? Yeah, I got some Billy Warwich videos on here. Watch his I-beam building video on my channel. Walt Burnell stole it from me and put it on his channel. I should turn him in for DMCA, but I'm the only one who had permission to post that from Hunt. I don't just take stuff and throw it up there. All my content's original stuff. So what I did there, show you. You see this right here. So there was a low spot there. It looks like I took a big rock and ground a big old flat in it or something, big groove in it. So we just acroed it, and you don't want to do too much of that. There's one right there too. That must have been when I was using 36 grit. You put a bottle on that on there, it's like putting 100 coats of paint on. Let's see, we're 43 minutes, so 17 left. Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I was over his house last year, I guess. He ain't flying though. His health is not good. He's got kidney problems or something. I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't suspect you'll see him back flying again at the Nats. But don't count him out. Because he very well could pull a rabbit out of his ass and he is the man. Yeah. I'm surprised Chris Rudd fell off the planet. He got all excited there for a while and poof, disappeared. He's a nice kid. Yeah, kid, he's probably 30 something now. When you get old, everybody's a kid. Okay. So what I'll be doing on Charles's live stream tonight, listening and sanding. I got something I need to show Gordy after it's over. We'll do a share screen and I'll show him. Well, I could show him on this. Well, no, I can't because I've already sanded it out. Let me give you a clue of what you're looking for. Will Davis. Yeah, I know Will. No, it wasn't Will Davis that had it. It was Mark Weiss that had the P-47. But he was at Triple Tree. I'm probably going to end up repairing that for him. The paint's all screwed up on it. That one's Mark Weiss's. Got it. Okay, what you're shooting for when you're building these things, you know, most of these you guys build weigh an ounce. How much you think this weighs? Now this is finished. Well, not quite finished, but it's covered, sanded, doped. 1/2 ounce. 14 grams. So a little less than a 1/2 ounce. No problem, Dave. See, I'm never lucky enough to get that kind of stuff, so I got to make my own. That's been the story of my whole life. You know, boy, I like that. My dad would say, well, you got to build it. Just make it. I think when I was a kid, I asked my dad one time, what do you guys do for fun? And he showed me. He made a stick into a T, nailed 2 boards together, made a T like this, and they pushed a wheel, a tire, with a stick. I said, well, that doesn't look like it. We did it, though. Stupid. We pushed tires with sticks. I guess that's something they did in the 40s when they didn't have no money, the kids. Well, my dad's born in the 20s, so in the 20s. Yeah, I've kind of hit everything quickly. I'll have to go over in detail everything. You can't miss a spot. I'll have to start. I've kind of just hit the bad spots. I have to start and sand the whole airplane. I know it was too late, but that's what I was thinking. 1/2 ounce. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I built this thing to specs that are unattainable, that have been unattainable until I moved home and I was able to work at my bench. Elevator stabilizer normally comes out 3 ounces. That's with the horn, with the hinges, ready to go. This one here was 2.1 ounces. A crutch is normally 3 ounces. But this one here is 1.75 ounce and 3/4. You know, the spars, I got spars hanging up there that are 2.5, 3 ounces. This spar is 1.75. Could not have done it until I came home. There's just no way. Yeah, we'll let that dry a little longer. You know, I'm really thankful John let me come over his house and use his shop. But working 10-hour days at work, coming home, you know, back to the little apartment. Yeah, kick the can. Coming back to that little apartment and trying to build in the dark on a board. Could not paint. I could only paint 1 day a week. So I couldn't make the progress there that I can make here at home. When I could paint anytime I want, I can see what I'm doing. I got power tools handy. I got all the wood right here. I got a nice big bench to work, straight bench. You don't have to work on a door. But I did fairly well. I built 6 airplanes in that little apartment, one a year for 6 years. So okay, so that's that. Quick sand out. How about this one? This one needs it. Now I'm into lightening up everything else, you know. I got to get a super light finish on the disc, baby. Let's see, I've sanded now. Let's hit it again and see what it weighs. It's had time to gas off, but of course I did put on some acro. Damn, where you going? You gotta be real careful with these. Yeah, because the little titties will break off of them. If you're going to do these, make sure you saturate it with CA so they don't break off. But they still could break off. I caught them on my belt before. What the hell are you doing? Yeah. Where do you think you're going? Okay, we got to weigh it up. Remember, Charles is on it about an hour. Let's get a weight on this power. See if we lost any. Probably not, though. Nope. 28.2. 28.2. Have to get that shit sanded off and see what it does. I got 5 minutes. That ain't gonna happen. I've had people tell me how amazed they are by how fast I can do this. It's not fast. It is not fast. If I did it in 10 days, it would be the same amount of hours that it would take if you did it in a month. You can't, it's all time. You just can't get away from it. How much time are you willing to put in? How bad you want it. Because I can tell you right now, I could sand this and get it sanded as good as I want. Set it down for a week, come back and do it again. Sand it all again. And do that several times over. When you think you're done sanding, sand it again. Because you ain't. And even if I did it 4 or 5 times, it'll never get done. You cannot get it too perfect. So it's what can you accept? What will you live with? I want to get this one up and going. I'm going to build another one of these. So I got 2 of them for next year's Nationals. I want to get one up and going and get it trimmed out so I can start flying with this style airplane again, because these don't fly the same as the airplanes I've been flying. Even my 58-ounce Junar does not fly like this. These are real sensitive, you know, they they really turn. So I got to get used to that. The only difference with this is back when I was flying in 91 with this airplane, I had 3-inch bell crank instead of 4. I didn't start doing 4-inch bell cranks till about 95. About 98, I kind of dropped out of airplanes for a little while, started playing with motorcycles. In 2004, I went to the Worlds and got enthused again and came back. You never, once this gets into your system, you never get it out. I can tell you that right now. Wasn't much on the Nationals until, you know, after the Worlds. I think 2005 was the first time I went to the Nats. But I flew contests. I've been a member of Knights of the Round Circle, been a member of the Eugene Prop Spinners, Lafayette Escadrille, Buzz and Buzzards. Who else have I been a member of? Everywhere you go, you know, I still got a key to them fields. But it ain't like you're gonna. What am I gonna do? Go over there and steal it? Steal the field? I don't think so. It's raining out, so we got 1 minute. So you guys got anything you want me to say or cover or whatever? That's the update. All the substrates on this that I'm going to put on it, we're going to go for color as soon as I get it sanded out. I'm going to try to get it sanded out tonight and tomorrow afternoon, and we'll get it in color tomorrow. I hope. If I can stay awake. Maybe take a nap and get up at 3 o'clock and do it some more. All right. I'm going to go. I'll see you guys at Rico. Right? Is how many coats of dope total? Top coat. Hi, Sparky. How many coats of dope total before top coat? I can't see that word that far away. Coat. Top coat of paint. That's how many. Remember, I split my can up into. This is a half a quart unthinned of dope. When this is on, which this is now, it's all on. All I got left in there is probably 1/4 of an inch on the bottom. When this is gone, you sand it, and then you put the color on it, and then you put the other half a quart on top of that, and you're done. And when you're out of paint, you're done painting. And don't go back to the can or you'll end up with a 10 or 15 ounce finish. Hope that answers the question. There's about 7 coats of paint on this right now out of that 1 quart. But I keep adding thinner and thinner and thinner, so the last coats are basically straight thinner, about 80% thinner. And you can see that it starts to pick up a shine. You know, it's getting a shine on it. So when I dust on the white to cover everything, it'll be shiny. And then when I put the clear on, 1/2 quart or 1 mason jar's worth, the rest, all the shine on my airplanes comes from rubbing compound and sandpaper. That's the only way I can get them that shiny, because there's no paint on them. And the only way I'm going to get a light airplane is leave the paint off. All right, I'm out of here. Fair winds, tight lines. We'll see you later. I'll be on Charles's show tonight. See ya.